Let's begin! Telefrag is a one-on-one online competitive game. There is really only one real mode of play with one set of rules. The winner is the first person to kill the other one 3 times. You have many different guns to do this with, and they all come with alternative firing modes, such as the shotgun type, being able to shoot normally, or in its other mode, it can have its bullets bounce off of walls. In each match, you do have a limited amount of times that you can use each gun, because if you die a couple of times whilst using it, it's gone for good. You can dual wield, so if you choose 2 rocket launchers and then die, that gun will be gone for the rest of the match. At times, it can almost feel a bit like a more elaborate game of rock paper scissors, as some guns are better to use than others. Even if your opponent does have a powerful combination of guns, you can still certainly take them out quite easily though, thanks to the game's telefragging mechanic. Telefragging allows you to quickly teleport to a location. If the other player is close to you when you do this, they will take damage, and can actually die in one hit if they haven't picked up enough armour that is found around the map. This does create some intense moments, especially when you first come across the other player, as you're both really aiming to see who can telefrag the other person first. If you both miss, you will obviously resort to using your guns, as you wait for the telefrag to recharge. But ultimately, this telefrag mechanic does hurt other aspects of the game. The fact that it's the first to 3 kills means that each battle could potentially be over quite quickly, before either of you have even actually fired a real bullet, if both are telefragging of course. It really is a shame, considering all the gun's extra firing modes, and if you're put into a game where someone hasn't perfected the telefragging skill, I can certainly see the not so good player getting frustrated and rage quitting very quickly. It's just not that fun for them to be instantly killed over and over again, and to be honest, I doubt the winning player will find it that exciting either. Different guns come with different types of telefragging abilities, such as one being able to instantly teleport you there after the telefrag's impact, and another allows you to place down a marker for you to teleport to whenever you want. This one feels more like a trap and is a bit harder to get a kill with. This does try to balance out each of the weapons, but surely most players will pick the gun that has the quickest telefrag ability for a potential one-shot kill. The game really could have done with some extra modes to choose from, more lives each round, a guns only mode without telefragging, and some sort of ranking system that gave players a bit more or less health depending on their skill level, could have really prevented the game from separating players with different skill levels too much. Further pushing players apart is the fact that you can play with 2 move controllers or for DualShock. Don't get me wrong, the more controllers supported the better, and the move controller's button mapping is very good here, but if you're playing with the moves and are paired up with someone online who is using the DualShock, you're going to have quite a big disadvantage when it comes to navigating around the map more quickly. Aim support is meant to be coming to the game too, in an update, but obviously I haven't been able to test that out yet. There is only 5 maps in the game, and as this is a one-on-one game, the maps have obviously been designed around the limited players. Some sections of the map can feel a bit like a racetrack as they loop around on themselves. The most interesting battles comes from when a player is on a ceiling above you or below you, depending on where your point of gravity is. You change to different positions by going through teleporters, or you can also telefrag to these locations. It's pretty intense, especially after you telefrag, as you have to get used to your new surroundings quickly. These battles are certainly the best and most memorable part of the game. Some maps are quite big though. One in particular can have both players searching for each other for long periods of time, due to 3 different floors being stacked on top of each other. When you see each other, it is very fast paced, especially when both of you are placed either side of a set of pillars. But one thing gets in the way of this being 100% skill based when it comes to killing the other player, and that's the low quality graphics. They are very blurry, so when you're both weaving between the gaps in the pillars, the gaps become a bit merged. If you kill the other player here, it really feels more like luck than anything else. Respawning also has issues. Quite a few times I'd respawn upside down with my head slightly clipping through the floor. In these moments I could hardly move and had to telefrag to put my body back upright. It's very odd that this spawning bug was missed, considering how many times it happened to me and my opponent online. It really is a shame about the blur, as some of the maps appear to have some great detail, and some do have cool environmental designs. Some sections of the map do dip in frame rate though, and sometimes for no apparent reason at all. It's certainly not a fluid experience throughout, and when you simply turn, jittering can occur. Although there is really only one mode in the game, there is a few other things you can do. There is a tutorial level, which obviously covers the basics of the game. You can play against bots, which has their difficulty increasing as you keep playing, and there is an armory, where you can learn more about the guns, and can test them out in a shooting range. There is obviously no completion time for this game, but for trophies that come with it, do give you something to aim towards, and overall, the list is very good. There is some tied to telefragging enemies with the different guns, killing a certain amount of enemies with each of the different guns, winning a certain amount of matches in a row, and also for playing a certain amount of games. Now normally, I would moan about grindy trophies, and the list here is certainly mostly made up of them, but the grind for them isn't too much at all, especially for an arena shooter that should be played over and over again. When playing the game, you do unlock these trophies at a great pace too. Admittedly, maybe a little too fast at the beginning, but if you're a trophy hunter, you will like the sense of reward when playing. The one thing that I think will hurt this game for a lot of people gameplay wise is the actual name of the game itself. The Telefrag. It's going to divide skill levels of players too much, which is something you really don't want to do on VR servers because of their often low population. The graphics are very blurry, and the stuttering absolutely needs to be fixed for such a fast-paced game. It really is one of the more blurry games out right now. This is advertised as an old school arena shooter, and from watching the trailer, it absolutely looks like one, especially with the health and armor pickups scattered across the map. But when you actually play it, it doesn't quite flow like one. The one mode offered here with a 2-player limit really does feel like it should be one of the extra modes you get in these types of games, rather than the game's main focus. There is a little bit of fun to be had here, but I think for most players it's going to be extremely short-lived, which is a shame for this genre of game. Hopefully the game sees some patches and updates in the future, because in its current state, I just can't recommend it. It's all a blur. If you want to check out some multiplayer gameplay, there is a video on screen right now, with me going up against the Preacher Plays and Gamertag VR. As always, if you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content.